Hey everybody, welcome to the TEConnect podcast. I'm John Martin.
And I'm Dean Reverman.
Hey, we got Sam Hughes over there, who many of you've seen plenty of times before on the show. But if you're watching on video right now, or if you're not, you really should. We've also seemed to have Ghostface from the Scream franchise here in the studio with us. Yeah. Too late, and you'll understand why in a moment. Before we reveal who's under the mask, let's take a moment to show what happened a little bit before we started recording. It's a shame.
Is it just you and I doing the next one, though?
All right. We have a special guest in Sam who's going to be here.
Oh, great.
She's shooting in a box right now. So
Okay.
She'll be down here in a little bit, though.
I think they're just wrapping up.
Oh, well, there you go. That'll work out nicely.
Excellent.
What's for lunch today?
Salad.
Normal.
Of course.
Are we all going out? Is that? Should we do that instead?
Yeah. Nah, I think we're okay.
I can wait. We can do the pod and I can eat later.
No, I think we're good. Everyone's excited to get this out of the way.
Ads?
Well, we'll get to ads. And,
Oh.
Yeah, we'll do that. Actually, yeah, we can go ahead and set up for that if we want.
He just yelling at me.
All right. Fine. We can get an ad in.
Uh-oh. Resi is...
What?
What?
All right, so now that that's happened, and
Yeah.
we've seen Dean's utterly unimpressed reaction.
Wow. Yeah.
There was an attempt here to
I feel bad.
scare Dean.
Yes.
Which I wasn't sure would really scare you.
Yeah.
But that reaction, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. I'm possibly one of the most chill people around, so it's like to scare? I don't know.
Yeah. And again, if you only listen to the
bad.
audio version of the show, if this is one time I recommend, hop over to BlueStar's YouTube page, find this episode, see how this actually went down in living color.
Yeah. Oh.
But hey, we should probably reveal who our mystery Ghostface guest is.
Ta-da! Dun, dun, dun.
It's Sarah Schlueter!
Hey!
Ta-da! She's here. This was actually her idea to try to scare Dean.
Yes.
Because I told her we were having a Halloween episode.
Yes.
This episode's coming out on Halloween. If you're listening to it sometime after, I apologize, but this is a Halloween episode.
Yeah, that's
In
how we
fact, welcome to a spooky special Halloween edition of the podcast. Today we'll talk about what truly scares us, our favorite Halloween costumes, scary technology, and more. Turn out the lights, find a safe place to cower, and get connected.
Welcome to the TEConnect podcast. It's time to get connected.
All right, folks, welcome back in. Yes, obviously, this is our spooky, spectacular Halloween episode.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why Sarah and Sam are here, in addition to Sarah wanting to scare Dean, but she was, I will add, emphatic.
Yes.
When I told her we were doing this, of can I dress up in a costume, come over and scare Dean? I'm like, oh, okay, sure.
First words.
Exactly. So beyond that, it's also partly because when I sent this cue sheet over to Dean of this episode, he immediately responded and said, can we get some other folks on the show because I'm not going to have a lot to say.
I'm just not going to have a lot to say. As painfully obvious at this point.
Yes, clearly.
My response to a jump scare is,
Yeah, Dean doesn't actually even know how to be scared, let alone enjoying anything that's scary. But let's kick it off here. Let's talk about scary stuff in general.
Yes.
And do we like scary things? Do we like scary movies, TV shows, books? I'll let Ghostface here kick it off for you. What do you got?
I do. I love...
What are some examples of things that have actually scared you? She's ready to go.
Let me, okay, so we're talking, I got movies, books, TV shows, things that have actually, movie-wise, I'll start with probably the scariest movie I think of all time is The Strangers.
Ooh, what?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
Have you ever seen it?
have not
Okay, you
seen
probably wouldn't be scared, so don't worry about it.
Well, yeah, but now it's on the list. I got to go.
Dean would go,
gotta see it.
oh, that's unfortunate for those people.
So Strangers. What's the? Yeah.
So I think it came out in 2008, and it's basically just this husband and a wife that are coming home from a wedding or something. He proposed to her. She said no. So it's just weird,
Liv
awkward
Tyler,
tension.
right? Liv Tyler.
Yes,
yeah,
Liv Tyler's one of the actresses, and then Scott Speedman, I
That's
think,
it.
is the
Okay.
other
Yeah,
main
yeah.
character. But they go back to their house or cabin or whatever it is, and this family of 3 just terrorize them by knocking on the door. They're inside the house. They're like in a room. They're moving things. They're just being creepy outside in masks, scaring them.
Scratching walls, that kind of stuff.
Like,
yeah.
like there's a scene that's super creepy where like the wife is in the, well, not wife, because I think she denied his proposal, but she's like in the kitchen washing a dish, and you just see the mask guy come out from behind
Spoiler
and
alert.
gets closer
There
to
might be
her, but then
spoilers.
he's gone. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm spoiling some of it.
That's fine.
But
It's not
just
a new movie.
right. It's just creepy though, because it's just so realistic. Because it's just 2 people that are home, and even like one of the lines from the movie is like the girl comes to the front door and she's like, "Is Tamra home?" And the light's out on the front porch, and they're like, "No, I think you have the wrong house." And then they just terrorize them for the rest of the movie, and
As you
it's
do.
creepy. But watching that, because 2008, I was in middle school.
Yeah, see, there you go.
First time I watched it was at a slumber party.
Didn't sleep forever.
That's context right there.
Yeah, I,
yes.
just say
Yes.
that. I feel like it always has a lot to do with what actually scares you, is when in your life you saw it and the situation in which you saw it.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. And then, funny story to caveat that, they made a second one. And fun fact, the second movie was filmed in my hometown.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So Strangers 2 or Strangers Pray at Night, it was something like that. Actually, the opening scene is this Cincinnati skyline. You see like the Duke Energy Center, and then it goes to a hillside in Covington, and
Yeah.
it's like a family leaving their house, and they go to this like cabin home. Well, that cabin area is at Kincaid Lake State Park, which is in my hometown. And they filmed there. They filmed in another small like town in Kentucky, and they filmed there's a big scene that happens at the pool, and I used to work at that pool.
Oh, geez.
So it was just
That's awesome.
yeah, it's kind of cool, but yeah.
Is the pool the same now to you? Now that people have probably, I guess,
Oh, I'm sure there's like
been
some
chopped up into
landmark
little
thing.
bits or whatever the movie did.
Oh yeah, I think a guy died in the pool.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah.
Great.
But they
Good
probably have
times.
a plaque or something there now, like this was filmed here. Yeah.
I'm
Something.
swimming right where someone died. Yay!
Hey.
Cool. Look at me. Take a picture. But it's not as scary as the original. But that's probably
All
my
right.
like top scariest
Top scary.
movie.
Strange.
All right.
Okay.
All right. All right. I know you've got more on your list. We'll kind of rattle through some more here in a moment. But Sam, give us one of yours. What's something that scared you?
I feel like horror is such a complex thing for me. I think my favorite horror movie is probably The Exorcist, just because it's the most, I've watched it the most times.
The original.
The original.
The OG.
And I read a really good critical analysis on it a couple years ago, just about like generational trauma and like mother-daughter relationship. Like it was just like, I was like, wow, I'm seeing this movie in a whole new light. But it is probably my favorite to watch. I watch it like every like season. But I think my modern scary movie is Hereditary.
Oh yeah.
From A24, and I love A24 and everything they do, but Hereditary is just, oh my
It's an
god,
unsettling film.
unsettling.
Is
The
it?
score
Yes.
is oh no, like
Yeah.
and, but just like right when you think you kind of have everything, like okay, everything's fine now, like plot twist, totally like oh, okay. So, and then I also think kind of like going back to A24, I really love Midsummer, but only just for its female rage and
yeah.
culty.
Not
confusion.
traditional horror, but
Not
still,
traditional
but again,
horror.
still unsettling. and
Very
weird.
unsettling. Yeah, and that's just kind of the vibe I go for is unsettling. Maybe I'm sleeping with the lights on and never joining a cult. So
The latter is a good idea.
yeah.
That's usually sage advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Dean? Is there anything you could
The only
think
thing
of
I
here?
got here is a movie. I don't
Okay.
have TV
All right.
shows. I don't have books.
What do you got?
So to me, you know, and this might be a reason why I'm kind of laissez-faire around, because the movies that I had growing up, when you go back and look at them now, although The Exorcist would be one of these,
Yeah.
it's like you look at it and it's like, that's not really that scary. But when I was growing up, Poltergeist, I was
Okay.
12,
All right.
was like a scary movie.
And that was like a PG film too,
right?
with Steven
Yes.
Spielberg as a producer / maybe
Yes.
the actual director.
Yes.
Long
yes.
story.
So that whole movie was, you know, that was I guess, definitive of creepy, scary.
Yeah, I get
the
that
swimming pool scene when they
Yep.
come, you know,
Yep.
the people that were buried there come out.
Yeah.
The whole they're here, you know, that was like ingrained into my mind because
Yes.
this is before what we have today. It's like
Yes.
everybody saw Poltergeist, everybody talked about it, everybody was scared. It's like a classic.
Yeah.
But if you go back and watch it now, I mean, I would fall asleep, right? It's like,
Now, see, I go back and
there's
watch
no
it, and I think it's
jump
just
scare,
a
there's no-
cool movie that
it is
holds
a
up really
cool-
well.
It
and
does
it's
hold
really
up very
well done.
But when you compare
But
that
no,
to
maybe not
something like,
scary.
I don't know, I was trying to think of a modern movie, The Grudge. You know, to
Okay,
me,
yeah,
that's like
The
a
Ring,
jump
something
scare.
like that,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's more of a jump scare, back of your neck tingling,
Right,
you know,
right.
like type of a thing. So, yeah, I got Poltergeist.
Okay.
That's what I got. Yeah.
All right,
And
that's a good one though.
Yeah.
What else? What were you
So,
gonna
the one where Jack Nicholson and out in
The
the
Shining.
Shining. Yeah, another
Stephen
classic
King.
movie.
It's that's the
Red
kind of
Rum.
like slow burn horror.
Red Rum.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, if you go back to Alfred Hitchcock and back to the Bates Hotel and
Yep.
Psycho,
Yeah.
have you ever watched that scene like
yeah.
recently?
Yeah.
That scared the world. But
Yeah.
you look at it today and it's like, again,
Well, again,
Very predictable.
context matters.
Context matters a
1960s. No one had ever seen this kind of thing
Yes.
before. You had
And there's a
you had one of the
knife
top
and
leading ladies on screen
Yes.
get murdered in the first 20 minutes.
There you go.
Unexpectedly.
Yeah. All that's fair.
Right.
But if you look at it cinematically, it's like, you know.
Oh yeah, it's a phenomenal film. Yeah.
Yes, but that scary scene is so we're so immune, I guess, to some stuff like that.
Okay, I
the
gotcha.
bar is like really high to scare.
So in other
I
words,
feel like.
Dean, as Dean would say, oh.
Oh. Well, how about you?
All right, so I confess I'm not like someone who gets terribly scared of stuff that often. Like I enjoy watching horror films. My wife does not, so I don't get to watch them as much as I would
Then
like.
that's fair. That's context, right? And Miles
right.
isn't sitting around watching.
Well,
horror
yeah.
movies.
Although I have a feeling he is going to, because he likes watching scary stuff.
Yeah,
So I
okay.
have a feeling as he gets older, I'm going to get to indulge the scary movie stuff with him a little bit. But I'll give you some examples of stuff that freaked me out. One of the first ones I remember was Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, mind you, I grew up not being allowed to see much of anything that was risky or scary or anything like that. Like it was a Disney Channel household for most of my youth, you know, Saturday morning cartoons, and then whatever weird stuff that my parents would decide to watch on network television in the evening. Sometimes, you know, a lot of Knight Rider and A-Team and all that stuff in the 80s.
Yeah, so Tom and Jerry to Freddy is
Right.
is
And I
elite.
did not, I never got to go to the movies that much when I was a kid. So I didn't actually see Nightmare on Elm Street until I was probably 13 or 14. But I also had no context for a lot of this stuff. So I was at a friend's house, one of those friends that you have whose parents don't actually he's living with his grandfather who did not care what we watched or what we did. So he puts Nightmare on Elm Street on one day, and I remember finding it a little unsettling and being like, this is kind of weird and creepy, and it actually gave me a couple nightmares, I think, you know.
Oh, sure.
And now, again, another one of those films you go back and watch now, you probably are finding more to laugh at it, about it than to actually be scared. Although the first one is, I'd say, a more legit horror film.
Yeah.
It's like most of those slasher franchises.
Yeah,
they start off with a legitimate slasher, scary kind of film, and then it just becomes a parody of itself over time.
Yeah.
And Nightmare on Elm Street definitely is one of those. The other one I'll cite is Alien.
Oh, yeah.
The original Alien, we've talked about
We
that on this
have,
show
yes.
before, is still a movie that to this day, and I think a big
a good
part of
one.
it is one of the few things that does still unsettle me in horror is body horror.
Body horror.
Anytime that someone's body is getting manipulated in some way, or
things breaking out of the stomach.
Exactly. So like the alien that the chest burster, and then just the way the alien itself, the way it moves.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, there's apparently a very fascinating documentary about the man who was in the alien suit, because that was all a practical suit. This was 1979.
I bet it was hot in there.
He was like fairly skinny, but he was fairly skinny.
He was a super tall, very skinny guy, and never did anything else. Had never acted before, but did this role and became iconic because of it. But anyway, Alien, I think, like, is one that still stands out in my mind as something that is very unsettling kind of representation of horror. And again, it's kind of a little bit of a slow burn. Sure, there's some jump scares, but you don't even see a lot of the alien. He's barely in. It's barely in the movie.
Yeah,
and yet
just
it's the feeling of it, and like, you know, the idea of it is freaking you out. That also probably leans to the fact that I was big as a kid into stories of aliens and alien sightings and abductions and UFOs. I used to obsessively read books about the UFO phenomenon. I was in love with that stuff. I thought it was so cool. The last two
Maybe
movies
we
I'll
need to
point
do a
out.
pod on UFOs, by the way.
Yeah, that
I
would be
didn't
fun.
realize you were
Oh
so
yeah.
deep
Oh
on
man,
this.
I've still got a lot of that stuff.
Cue
on my
the
head.
X-Files theme music.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's why I love the X-Files because they leaned into a lot of the classic stories.
The truth is out there.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to believe.
I had Hereditary on my list. The last one I'll mention is The Thing, which most people
Yes.
associate more of a
Yep.
sci-fi film,
Yep.
but it also has some of the most grotesque
Yes.
practical effects.
Is that the one where they're in the Antarctic
Yes,
or something like
it's
that?
Kurt
And then-
Russell in the
yes.
Antarctic, and an alien infiltrates this team of researchers,
Yes.
and it can take on the form of anyone that it gets a hold of and touches.
Yes.
So it's a paranoia type movie. It's actually a remake
very
of a
paranoid.
1950s like Red Scare paranoia type film, where the alien was like just a more practical, just monster running around.
A commie?
Right. Yeah. That's essentially what it was.
Probably.
Yeah.
Back then.
And instead, they reintroduced it as this idea of a thing that could be inside of anyone and you would know because they look and act the same as anybody. Fantastic fits. That is one of the movies I find myself revisiting so often.
Really?
Because of, again, how well it's filmed, how good the effects are, and just... It's honestly one of those movies that I don't care how many times you watch it, you reach the end and you're still not entirely sure
Okay, so
who is or isn't
a
the
quick
thing.
poll here. Is this like the holidays where you watch, Christmas movies and stuff like in the lead up to Halloween, are you watching scare movies?
Yeah, and I
Yes.
Like you intentionally
Oh.
rack them up for the weekend?
year round too. Like I think there are a lot of
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, John. Like there are several shows that we're watching right now. Like one being Castle Rock, the kind of rendition of a lot of Stephen King stuff,
Yep.
and then Mike Flanagan's works. We always religiously watch Midnight Mass right around Easter
yes.
time because tis the season. But he's phenomenal in all his adaptations
Yes.
as well. So,
concur, yeah.
but kind of year we
Yeah.
pretty much read/watch things year round.
You lean into the season.
Yeah,
And then you watch
but
those.
especially
Got it.
now, totally.
right.
Yeah.
Fair.
I have TV recommendations. I'll save those for later, actually, though. But all right, Sarah, rattle off some more of your list of scariest
Okay.
movies. This
Yeah.
time.
I did
Genuinely
have
scares you.
I did have The Exorcist on here. I had The Shining was on here as well. When I was a kid, the Chucky movies would freak me out, but it's the same thing where I go back now, I'm like, why in the
you kinda
world was
chuckle
I
at them?
scared
Yeah.
of that?
Talk about your franchise. Maybe the first one was good, and then didn't it just...
They
Apparently,
all
at some
kinda
point-
tanked.
Apparently, at some point, they got good again. I've only seen maybe the
There's
first
like
two.
a whole show.
I feel like it was
Yeah,
the
there's
first
a-
one
there's
was
a TV
scary,
series,
and then it was
yeah.
just stab, 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 dead, dead, dead.
Yeah.
The rest of the movies.
I mean, and they leaned into it. Eventually, it almost becomes comedic. Like they
Yes.
lean into the
Yeah.
comedic
Right.
aspect of it as you.
How many are
go
they
along.
on now?
Like
Is
he
it
has.
8?
There's like a bride
Probably
of
8 to
Chucky
10.
eventually, and a
Yeah,
child.
there's
They
a
have a child
woman.
together.
They have a
Seed of
child?
Yeah.
Seed
I
of
didn't know
it's
this.
called Seed of Chucky. Like, ugh.
Of course.
Like-
the seed of Chucky.
Exactly.
That's just brilliant right there.
What
And
else?
then some M. Night Shyamalan, is that how you say it?
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan. Okay, I was close. Which two of his, the Signs, that was
Yes.
creepy as a kid.
That scene.
Swing
alien
away,
scene.
Meryl. Like,
Yeah.
I was
the
terrified.
kids party scene.
Yes, and when the little girl says, "This water's contaminated," like there's just like little zingers from that my family we all still say to each other.
Do you find the ending of that movie does it piss you off as much as it does? It doesn't bother me, but I know a lot of people absolutely hate how that movie ends.
Yeah.
The water stuff in particular.
Yeah,
Without giving any too much away.
I don't know.
I'm
It's
fine
honestly
with it.
been a long time since I've seen it too. I need to rewatch it because I
Yeah.
feel like the last time I watched it was probably in high school, and who knows, I probably was
There's
not.
spoiler alerts everywhere. So what's the fine? I haven't seen. What's the context?
The whole
What's-
premise of this
what's
movie
the
is
issue?
these are aliens that are invading Earth.
Okay.
And most of the film, like you don't see a lot of them. It's I think what I love about it is it's not a film that's about the invasion itself. Like it's all basically about a family, like this dad who's like a lapsed priest, his two kids, his wife died years ago in a car accident, and his brother and her brother all living together. And basically, they're just watching this unfold on television for the
I
most
see.
part.
Gotcha.
And then aliens eventually show up at their farm. They're in this little isolated farm because the whole ssigns thing is like the crop signs, like the crop
Yep,
circles
yep,
that
got it.
used to be a thing for a
Yep,
while.
yep.
So like, it's a very slow burn kind of creep, and the aliens eventually do show up. The most terrifying scene in the film, and the only thing I think in the film that actually is genuinely scary to me is there's a scene where the brother is in the closet watching news, and there's a broadcast where they're showing a video from like a birthday party in Mexico, and these children's like, over here, and they're just staring out the window, and you're like, what are they looking at? And like you just see some foliage and a car on the street, and all of a sudden an alien just steps out from behind the foliage.
Oh, I see.
And it's
Gotcha.
like
It's so
it's like
realistic.
it
It
is
is.
so realistic, and it's
It
so
is.
found footagey that it's like
Right.
I remember seeing that like before I watched the movie.
Yeah.
Like I saw it online somewhere, and I was like, "Is that real?"
Yeah, 'cause I feel like that's the
But-
first real alien you've like, because this was what 2004 or
Yeah,
something.
it was early 2000s.
So like the graphics for the
Were
way that
so
alien looked
good.
was super realistic.
Yeah.
I'll be
And it
darned.
was, and I think that's why I love the movie so much, because it very much is about what most of us would experience if there was an alien invasion. We're not out there jumping in F-14s and
Right.
shooting them out.
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
sky.
Right, yeah.
Experiencing
Yeah.
it
We're
on
just
social media.
hiding in our houses and hearing what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Social media wasn't even a thing at the time. You could do that a
Right,
different
right,
version now.
right.
Watching TV stuff
Yeah.
where there's like, a UFO that's in like an invisible UFO hanging out over a city that birds are running into and dying.
Right.
And random sightings of these things, and like.
So what
I
happens
think
in
that-
this last
So at
scene?
the end of the movie, there's been this theme, which she referenced it earlier about this. Sorry if I'm stealing your thunder.
No,
here,
go
I'll talk about
for
this.
it.
There's the little girl in the family. Like her whole thing is she gets a cup of water and she drinks only a little bit and says there's something wrong with it and leaves it somewhere. So the house is filled with like just random cups of water everywhere.
Okay.
And at the end of the movie, during the course of the movie, you find out that the aliens are scared of water. Water actually hurts them, physically hurts their
Okay.
bodies.
All right.
So at the end of the movie, like when an alien shows up in the house, the brother who used to be a baseball player is told to swing away, and he goes and starts swatting glasses of water at the alien,
Spraying
which
it
basically
everywhere.
kind of melts it down or whatever and kills it.
I see.
People are pissed because why do these aliens come to a planet that is
Full of water.
75% water?
Water.
And where
Oops.
water falls from the sky routinely. What was
Stopped by the wrong
idea?
planet.
And
I
it's
see.
not in any way explained in the film. To me, it's one of those things like it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't
Yeah,
take
yeah,
away
yeah,
from
yeah.
what the premise of the movie was.
Yes.
Yes, it doesn't make
That's
sense.
the whole
I don't know.
War of
Maybe
the
they were
Worlds,
desperate. Maybe we were the first planet they came across with
Yeah,
that
exactly.
was habitable, and they're
Yeah.
desperate to get our resources.
yeah.
And
Right.
who knows? I don't know.
True.
Anyway, I stole your thunder
Oh, no,
because I
all
love
good.
Signs. Is one of those movies I'll talk about.
Signs
ad
is a good
infinitum.
one.
Signs. Okay.
And then my last movie that I have. So has anyone seen the movie Hush?
That's a Mike
Mike
Flanagan.
Mike
isn't it?
Flanagan,
I've
too.
still not seen
Really?
this.
Yeah.
Okay. So it used to be on Netflix. I don't think it is anymore, but
Kate
you can like
Siegel.
rent it on Prime.
Yeah.
And it's basically about this deaf writer who's at this house in the woods. She's trying to finish her book. She's having issues, like can't get the ending. Well, obviously she's deaf. So there's this guy who comes into it's just like a home invasion thing where this guy's trying to get in her house and kill her. And one of the this scene is the creepiest thing. She has a MacBook like we all have right now. And she's like working on the end of her book and she just keeps writing stupid little endings. She's like, I can't figure this out. Well, she gets a message from her phone on her MacBook. She's like, what the heck? Opens it and it's a picture of her sitting on the couch. And then it's pictures of her being followed in her hallway and pictures of her in the kitchen. And I mean, she just freezes because she's like, where is this coming from? But I just think it's a cool film because one, she can't
silent.
hear anything.
And
It's silent.
we hear what she hears.
Yeah. So like some of the, you're hearing like what she's inside, like what she can hear in
hear her
certain
blood?
situations.
Like,
Like
it's
her
completely,
heartbeat
it's completely,
and-
yeah, her
yeah,
completely silent.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so it was like sometimes with really scary movies like that, I will watch them on mute because I get like nervous.
Yeah.
And that's like one that you
Sound
don't
is
have
important
to.
in horror films sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. And then, there's, when there is altercation and they do like, he like attacks her and things like that, like then it's loud and but it's just very like ominous and it's very good.
And there's like times she's trying to escape, and the whole time you're like, oh my gosh, he's right. Why are you trying to do that? He's right around the corner. Don't. Like, but she can't hear, and she has. It's just a cool. I've never seen a movie like that because she has to use every other sense and resources when she's inside, and she tries to escape a few times and he catches her and just like you're like, come on, he's right there. And it's just, and that's also realistic. One, if I was deaf, I would definitely not be by myself in the woods, just gonna throw
Just
that
throwing
out there.
Yeah.
But it's just a very cool, and it's also super realistic. Like
Sure.
this guy just,
Sure.
and they never I guess I'm kind of spoiling it, but they never really reveal why he came there, what the reason was. But you're like,
easy target. She's
Which makes it even
disabled.
scarier. Yeah.
So
so that's
if you liked that one, you should watch the rest of his stuff. So he has The Haunting of Hill House, which is on Netflix. Yeah,
That's good.
and that's phenomenal.
That's really good.
He has The Haunting of Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, Midnight Club, which I didn't like as much.
Yeah, that was just okay.
And then the most recent one is an adaptation of Edgar Allan Poe's work. So it's called The Fall of the House of Usher, and it's incredible. And he reuses all his actors. So like the main character in Hush is his wife in real life. So
She's in all the other
she's
stuff,
in all the stuff. They cycle through their actors, but like if you watch one, you're like, oh, I wonder if this person's gonna be in the next one, and they are, and it's like kind of cool. So, but he's primarily on Netflix. And I know he is creating. He's doing an adaptation of Stephen King's Life of Chuck, and that's supposed to come out in 2026.
Oh.
Tom Hiddleston's starring in it, and like Matthew Lillard's going to be in it. So I think the cast is going to be like really cool. But he just ended his contract with Netflix, so I think that's going to be on Prime.
Yes, yeah,
So-
he is starting up on Prime. Yeah,
Yeah.
heard that. All right, good stuff. Anything else you had? Any other?
that's all. And then TV shows, Unsolved Mysteries, Forensic Files. That's more suspense and scary, but
Yeah.
I could watch
You know,
those every day of my life.
Unsolved Mysteries, the old one with Robert Stack, that used to spook me a bit. That was something that was a routine in the household, is to put that on whatever night it was on. That was always on. And I just remember, you know what? This is going to sound stupid. The scariest thing that showed to me was the artist renderings of criminals.
Yeah.
Every time they'd show like someone's sketch of what a suspect and a murderer or something looked like, I always found that creepy. I was like, no, I don't want to see this. That's weird.
Yes.
Creeps me out. But I loved that show.
Me too. And then
The new one's pretty good on Netflix.
yeah,
too,
they've readapted. Is it like his son that is the producer of the
I
the
think
new?
I think it
so.
stayed in the family.
Okay. But I should have looked this up before, but like I'd be interested to know what statistics, like what tips they actually do get, because same with like John Walsh, America's Most Wanted, like that actually really helped a ton of cases.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
I wonder the same for like Unsolved Mysteries. How many cases did they
Yeah,
actually?
they used to do that.
eventually
Like there's
solve?
sometimes an episode at the end of the episode, it'd be like, update, here's
they
the case we
show.
presented before.
Yeah.
Here's what we've learned now, or this person's been caught,
Aren't those rerun today? On like
you can-
CNN or headlines?
yeah, I think there is a
Something
channel
like that.
reruns. So they're streaming also, I think.
Okay.
Not on Netflix.
They are
the original.
classic.
I think it's on Prime. I think Prime might have the original
Classic.
Unsolved Mysteries. Yeah.
Oh,
Good
really?
stuff.
Okay.
So good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Let's shift gears here a little bit and talk about Halloween costumes. So, what are some of your favorites that you've worn, or if you're not someone that's worn a lot of interesting costumes that you've personally witnessed? Sam, I'll let you kick this one off.
I feel like I ace Halloween every year.
It's a bold person.
I know.
Okay.
I know. It's like 8 years ago, I was Guy Fieri, and it was amazing. I had like a beard and a goatee, and I made like this like flaming shirt, and I was just running around like eating hot dogs, and it was just my dream. And then I was
My dream.
It was my dream. I got so many compliments. And then I was Doodle Bob one year, which
What is
is
that?
Nice.
it's the like
Frankendoodle from SpongeBob.
Yeah, like SpongeBob finds
See,
a
I'm not a
pencil.
SpongeBob guy,
Oh,
so-
yes.
He
okay,
finds a
got it.
pencil and he draws the version of himself and it comes alive. And I was Doodle Bob. My husband was the pencil. So
Nice.
that was a good one.
Are you someone that likes to lean into couples costumes?
Only if they're like silly. Like one year I was like, Chris, I'm going to be Mike Wazowski and you are going to be the small child Boo. And he was like, and I was like, it has to happen.
It's happening.
It's happening.
Okay.
So, and this year we're doing, since I have a little Billy,
Yeah.
I'm going to be, do you remember the Kool-Aid Man commercials where he would like bust through the
Oh,
wall?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to be the Kool-Aid Man and like have like a red shirt on that has like the face
love it.
and then get some cardboard that's like the bricks. Like
Yes.
he's running through.
Yes.
And then Chris is going to wear a little necklet that says, oh yeah.
I love
That's
it.
Love it.
awesome.
Going for
That's
simple,
good.
but
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. That's awesome.
That is
Yeah.
good stuff right there. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Dean, what about you?
No, I got nothing here. Like, I'm sorry. I got like.
Do you not even
Halloween
dress up for
costume?
Dean puts on a
Halloween?
costume and goes, oh.
we don't do Halloween costumes at BlueStar.
We don't. Yeah,
It's not a
maybe
thing
we
that
should.
we should.
Absolutely.
There are
Well,
people that do dress
our,
up, but
our
it's not
Latin
a
America
not an
office.
organized
Our
thing.
Latin America
they go
office
hard.
goes off the charts.
Yeah.
It's just off the charts.
Yeah.
Everybody is dressed up as something. Yeah, no, I got nothing here because I was one of those terrorizing kids that would go around and like scare other kids.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Things are starting to make a little more sense.
Yeah.
You're egging houses and toilet papering trees.
100% I was. Yes. So I don't really like to talk about that because it's kind of a dark part of my history. But hey, we didn't have the things we have today.
The darkest part of Dean's history is he egged some houses and threw some toilet paper around.
Scared little kids to get their candy, kind of a thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That was me. So.
All right. So you were the Halloween terror. All right. What about you, Sarah?
Yeah.
So one of my favorites was in 5th grade. I was a Tootsie Roll.
Nice.
Whole costume
Classic.
for
Classic.
it.
Love it.
Pretty cool.
And then 1st grade, I was Britney Spears. Got the full Britney Spears outfit.
Wait, which genre?
Yeah, which the snake or
no, this was like the
Young Britney
classic,
Spears,
like
okay.
the "Oops, I Did It Again"
Okay.
Britney Spears.
Oh, okay.
And
Tied off shirt. And
well, since it was for the school, I did have to wear like a white
cami.
undershirt.
Okay.
Yeah, couldn't have my 5th grade belly out. But in high school, and again, these are all kind of like basic. I feel like I'm pretty basic for Halloween, but it's the effort I give behind the acting that makes it
you
go
get
a
into
step
character.
further. Oh,
Got
yeah.
it. All right.
So freshman year of high school, my friends, we were a group of nerds. And when we
Nice.
walked up to like enter the contest, I tripped and dropped my books everywhere.
Classic
and like
nerd.
made my glasses fall off.
Yes,
and
got
was
it.
like reaching around.
glasses.
And I think we got like 2nd place, but only I think because of the acting.
Yes,
We really
yes.
didn't look that crazy.
Right.
And then
I thought you were talking Nerds the Candy. I was going to see how you got into character there. Like you pop around or,
other than, I don't know, I do stuff for Halloween, but I never go like super into. I would love to have just like one awesome costume, but I don't know. I do basic stuff and I'm just happy with that. And then the one my like fallback always is Steve Jobs.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's real easy. Get
Yeah.
some New Balance shoes, some jeans.
You say
a
this
black
like this is just a
turtleneck.
common thing that just people just
Well, everyone has a black
regularly
turtleneck. So.
Everyone has the turtleneck. I've got the
Really?
rimmed
Yeah.
glasses.
Everyone,
like he
that's
has.
a bold claim. Everyone has a black turtle?
You could also.
I think every woman
You could
does.
also turn that into like Theranos lady too.
Yes,
Elizabeth
I
Holmes.
should.
I could just.
She did the
that's
black turtleneck
easy,
thing,
because then I
yeah.
can just put my hair back.
Yeah,
in a
you even got the
ponytail.
hair. Yeah.
Or,
But just gotta talk like this.
I have to talk in a deeper voice.
or Dwayne The Rock Johnson from that one photo where he's wearing like his high-waisted jeans.
Yes, with the fanny pack.
And
yeah.
the chain.
Oh, true. But isn't he shirtless?
No, he's wearing a black
he's
turtleneck.
got- He's got a black
the black-
turtleneck.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of his WWE wrestling days.
Yeah, this is before that, I think. so.
Yes.
What
What are
good
yours?
Stuff. Again, I kind of like you. My I was.
I mean, you got a spider shirt
I wasn't
on right
terrorizing
now.
children.
It's
Yeah,
scaring me.
I never got to have good costumes as a kid. Like either I got
Womp
whatever
womp.
random
I
cheap
see. Yes.
store bought thing my parents could find, or
Yes.
on random occasions my mom would decide to try to homemade something. Not something she was good at. So my favorite terrible one ever. This is when I was in 5th or 6th grade. She's like, "You can be a hunchback." I'm like, "Okay." So
I already am.
the details of that were essentially
Wait, like Quasimodo or just a
just
hunchback?
a random hunchback.
Oh, okay.
So apparently the way she decided to make that was just to give me a random flannel shirt with a pillow stuck up underneath it to give me the hump on the back.
And that's it.
And that was it. No
This was the
makeup,
extent.
no nothing else.
But I bet you everybody got what you were.
Well, you
You were a hillbilly
were
Halloween
Sarah.
right there.
I had to do a little bit of the acting, so I'm like hunching over, like,
You could have totally said you're Igor from Young Frankenstein and just flipped your hump every now and then.
I hadn't seen Young Frankenstein.
Oh.
Like, that was not something that was ever aired in my house. So. So it was boring. But I will say I had some friends that live in Indiana, and they always throw a big annual Halloween party. They use their garage for big to do. Haven't been in a long time. Kid came along, couldn't go run off and party all night long as much anymore. Plus, I just can't party all night anymore either. I don't know how they do it. They're not much younger than me, but they still somehow do it. Anyway, there used to be some amazing costumes that showed there. My favorite ever, and this was late 2000s, right after Iron Man came out. There was a dude that showed up with a homemade Iron Man suit.
The whole
Wow.
thing.
Made all out of cardboard.
Yeah.
Had lights and stuff in it, like the chest lit up, the hands lit up. I think I've still got some pictures of this somewhere. If I do, I'll send Marco the picture and insert in the podcast here to show it. But looked phenomenal. The faceplate flipped up and everything. He was winning all kinds of contests all around town wearing this thing. absolutely amazing costume.
Nice.
I'm like, that is the level of dedication that I will never achieve in my life. To make
Well, it
something
sounds like
that
Sam
cool.
would be in that ballpark, you know?
Sam-
That's true. Sam's
I
puts it that way,
thrive.
yeah.
I want to be the Heidi Klum of Halloween costumes.
Got it.
She is
Right?
her most iconic is when she was the worm, and that was just
Yeah,
I
that
strive
was
so hard.
entertaining.
I strive.
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to go off script here. Can we go off script a
Yeah.
little bit? So instead of costumes, though, what was your favorite house growing up, or did you visit a scary house? So I've got examples of both. There was a house growing up when we would go trick or treating that had the pumpkin head by the front door,
Right.
and it talked to you. So it was a jack-o'-lantern that talked to you, and for years we tried to figure out how that was occurring.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know, where is the guy behind the window kind of a thing?
Yeah.
Because you would
Right,
walk up
right.
and this thing would like have a full-out conversation with
Right.
you.
It
So-
wasn't just something pre-recorded.
Yes. So we always looked forward to going to that house. And then fast forward now to the street that we used to live on. This family would go way overboard. This
There's
is
always
what-
that family,
Yes.
yeah.
But I'm going to try to do it justice. Their front yard was an alien ship crashed. They had
Wow.
fog going around it. They had a headless horseman pulling a funeral cart, for lack of a better term. All that was happening in the front yard, everything happening in their windows, blah, blah, blah. They had a shed out back that they turned into a mad scientist shed. So they got those sparks, and they
Right.
got a dummy that would come up, and then it would go down.
That's
Come
awesome.
up. And then they served hot dogs for everybody. So it's like they would
Nice.
lure the kids in.
My dream.
Right? Do you dress up the house, too, as much as you do your...
Oh no, just the hot dogs or something. That sounds
Oh,
cool.
got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sam's
So do you have a
hot dog
favorite house
aficionado,
that you would go
apparently.
visit? You see where I'm going? No? Nothing. You
I
guys
just
didn't
like
have
the
this
houses
wonderful
that gave
experience?
full-size
Full-size
candy bars
candy
and
bars.
full-size cans of Coke.
Yeah.
And
Got
got
it.
like an apple
Yeah.
or something.
Full-size
Yeah.
Yeah.
candy bars.
That's the thing. Like when I was a kid, I don't remember seeing a lot of that stuff necessarily. But
nowadays.
now,
Yes.
I love taking my. Although the Halloween nights are usually stupid cold anymore.
Yeah, they like
But-
snow.
Yeah,
Here.
so, but taking Miles out to trick or treat has been fun because I do get to experience some of these interesting houses. And a couple ones in my neighborhood that are good. There's one kind of like that does some fun stuff up front, and out back they have like a full graveyard.
Yeah,
so they
right.
just tell the kids,
Yeah.
"Hey, go out back," and there's this like whole graveyard you can walk through, and
Yep.
stuff pops up or whatever.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's fun. But there's also a house where there's a guy every year who inevitably will sit out on his front porch in some kind of costume that looks fake.
Like stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's sitting there like the first year I think that he ever did it. He was like it was like a scarecrow outfit. So it just looked like a scarecrow just
I see.
sitting there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And mind you, the dude sits there limp for about 20, 30 minutes at a time. And then every
my
now and
God.
then,
Gets
as
one
those
kid.
kids come up on the porch,
What
he just
Nadine.
jumps up and starts
No.
running at them, and they scream and run away in terror. And I mean, it's one of those things where I'm like, you're kind of a jerk for doing this, but
He's getting his candy back. They're
nice
dropping
work,
the
bud.
Nice
Yeah,
work,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So Miles has yet to actually be fooled by him because either he's seen it happen from afar, or he's just I think he's just intuitive enough to know. Again, he watches enough scary stuff, like scary kids programming, that he's like he looks up there and he's like, I don't like this.
That's
I
a
don't like it.
guy.
Something's
I don't like it.
something's a little off about this guy.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think
yeah.
I'm gonna get up there. Even though we'll be like, no, go on up, go get some candy, go on. Look, there's great candy sitting up there. And he just won't do it.
That's
But
good
I
stuff.
love that place. I enjoy seeing that guy do his work,
There you go.
and
See?
terrorizing the kiddos.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
I don't go around stealing their candy, but I like watching them scream and run.
Wimp.
All right. Well, because this is a tech podcast, I feel like we have
Yes.
to talk about something technology related.
Ooh, I
So let's talk about technology that scares us. Is there any tech in the past that scared you? Is there anything that scares you now about technology? Any tech that's on the way that frightens you a little bit? Who wants to start this one?
Well, that's an easy one. AI that can become sentient, right? I mean,
Okay,
like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
And the use of these tools for what I would call social conformity, that's a little creepy to me. And I don't know that we're doing it here, but you hear the stories in China and stuff like that where, everybody's watching all the time.
Right,
and
right.
that's like scary. I don't know that I want
Where
to
you
be
get ranked
watched
and
all the
rated based on how nice you are and how cool you are.
Yeah. I don't know. That's got a creep factor to me,
Yeah,
and I'm
I agree.
scared with how that type technology could be adopted.
We've
But
talked
anyway,
about this before. Have you
not
ever
to pull it
watched?
all
Have you ever
down.
watched Black Mirror?
No, I
Because
do need
that
to
is
watch that.
that is
Yeah.
totally the show that if tech
Yes.
disturbs you in any way, that show is all about how tech can go wrong.
Go wrong. Off the rails.
and make things terrible. And some of it has come true. Like that, for example, that story, there was an episode called Nosedive that is all about a woman living in a society where every interaction you have gets ranked. You get star ratings. And those star ratings will actually determine your social status.
Or
And
your financial status.
yeah, your ability to like
Right.
hold a job
Hold a
and where
job.
you're allowed to go and
Yikes.
who you're allowed to associate with.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones that like, and maybe I think it was like maybe 6 months after that episode came out that like that announcement came out of what China was planning on doing with their kind of like social classification and rating structure or whatever. And it was like, this is a little eerie.
Terrifying.
So anyway, for me, that's scary.
All right,
Yeah.
I got you. What else? Anybody have?
I
something else?
agree. You go first.
So in a similar vein to that, like I hate the device. Okay, I called it the dark deepness of device connection. How like anywhere you go, whether you're on someone else's TV or connected to their Alexa or whatever it is, like the ads can hit you anywhere. Like I get the purpose of that, but like for example, a weekend ago, 2 weekends ago, I was dog sitting for one of my friend's parents, and I go to first time I turn on their Hulu, and I was looking earlier that day at like furniture online, and I have like a furniture ad from that store. I mean, unless they're looking at the same things, it's just creepy. Like you don't have to, it's not like you have to be directly signed in to someone else's things. Like the devices all still connect in some way. It doesn't, it's just like, maybe it's because I'm on their Wi-Fi, and when you're on someone's Wi-Fi, does it give all the,
Right.
It's just, that's just what freaks me out is anywhere you go, if you're on someone's network or you log into one thing here, you're now connected I feel like you can't untangle that ball of yarn at this point where we're at in the world. So that scares me.
Getting off the grid is nearly impossible at this point. Like, I mean, you would literally have to just throw out every electronic device you've ever owned and never look at one again.
No.
Because I feel like there for a long time, people would make jokes about like, oh, my phone's listening to me and blah, blah, blah. And people were like, whatever, that's not actually happening. But
Just kidding, it's true.
It is.
I know, I'm sorry, but there comes a point where everyone has experienced that, where you've come across an ad or something got fed to you about something you happen to be looking at somewhere else, or something you were literally just talking about. That's the stuff that gets me.
It's getting there. That's the stuff that gets me too, because we'll be sitting out back as a family and we're on a topic, whatever the topic might be. I'll get it on my phone, I'll start typing it, and it's already pre-filled out. Whatever, Muhammad Ali. Now, how does it know I was looking? Because I was just talking about Muhammad Ali.
Because your Siri's always listening to you. It's it's always
going to get in our
passively
thoughts
listening.
where like I'm going to be thinking about Muhammad Ali,
right?
And my phone will just be like, oh yeah, here's some articles about Muhammad Ali. I was just thinking and I never spoke it out loud. What?
Back off.
They position that
Get out
as
of my brain.
convenience.
Yes.
It's convenient that you don't have to go looking for stuff. We just know.
As marketers, we have nothing to do with this.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoops.
Oh, well, I was like, someone pointed out the fantasy football league that a bunch of us from work were in. We randomly were on there the other day and logged into the league, and there's a whole bunch of zebra ads right along the bottom.
Nice. Yeah.
Right. And it
works.
It was us. It was zebra ads that we had created.
Yes. BlueStar
and
zebra ads, yes.
and we're out there, putting out there for them, and it was popping up on these random websites.
So when you're at Hulu, but dog sitting again, you see a zebra ad. We're sorry.
When I start seeing that, I'll start running because there's no way it should get that deep. If I'm at someone else's house watching their Hulu,
They know.
They
They're
just
watching.
know the zebras are watching.
Yes.
Sam, what about you? What did you have here? What scares you?
I think this moreover scares me. I mean, I'm thankful for the monitor, like the video monitoring and things like that. Like we have like a Google Nest, and I'm really thankful for that. But it's been hacked a few times, and that is like really freaking terrifying.
Whoa, seriously?
What does that mean?
So there's like this thing. So our little Nest, it's like a little tablet, and I can set the alarm on it. I can, set the thermostat on, and I can do a bunch of like at home things. And right when we first got it, I was Chris texted me or something, and you can speak through the Nest, like just a little voice message or whatever. Like just you can speak through the doorbell and all the other things. And he was at work, and he was like, "Hey, like I'll be home a little late. I just want to let you know." And I guess just maybe he didn't have his phone on him or something, but he just like spoke through the Nest, his little Nest chip thing. And I was like, okay, yeah, cool. So I knew that he could like speak to me through that. And then a couple days later, I had the camera on and the speaker was on and everything, and I was just chilling, and somebody says, "Hey, you look great." And I was like, "Oh, Chris just says I look great or whatever." So I just texted him. I was like, "Hey, did you just say something through the Nest? And he was like, I'm in a meeting right now. No. And I was like, oh, I like heard that. That was like real.
No way.
So I was like, what the heck? And I think the person on the other side, like they could see me because our camera was on and it was like receiving. And I was just like really silent at first. And he was like, yeah, I'm talking to you. And I was like, okay.
Dude, forget it. I'd be running out of the house right now.
I was like, this is not okay. I was like, Chris, get out of your meeting right now. Like someone's talking to me on the Nest.
That is a legit start to a horror film.
Yes.
Right there,
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes. And so.
What are the ones you like?
Yeah.
I like
and
those.
I mean, I unplugged it and I was like, okay, no, like we're changing all of our passwords. Like something was weird. And I'd heard of that before. Like someone hacked an Alexa, somebody's Alexa and was talking to children. Like I saw this on the news and they were like saying that they were Santa Claus. And I was like, so if anything, I'm more, I guess, scared of people and just the tools that they have to do like crappy things to people. But it's like, it's nice to have the video doorbell and it's nice to have the video monitoring and things like that. But every time I check or I get person detected, you know, on front lawn, and I'm like, why is there a person in my front lawn? They're not UPS. Like, what's going on? Like, I mean, it's great to
not
like
adding to the anxiety at all.
Yeah, it's like great to see that, but it's like not, you know, like our parents, like, or you know, when I was younger, like we didn't have video doorbells, and if someone showed up on the door, they were probably selling Girl Scout cookies, and they didn't have malicious intent, you know. So it's just like,
are you the type? I don't know about you, but I don't even bother answering my doorbell.
oh no, I don't.
Until I know who's there.
No.
Unless I know.
Do you have a video
coming.
doorbell?
Yeah.
I'm still old school. I don't.
Yeah.
So, you know, if somebody knocks on the door, I got to go and see who's on the door.
You don't need to live like that anymore.
I'm not getting hacked either with people saying, hey, you look so good.
That does concern me because I've
like
slowly
that.
started building out my like home technology stuff.
Yes.
And that is unnerving. It's a little concerning about people being able to get access to that stuff. You know, like we added some cameras recently because there'd been some break-ins in the neighborhood. So I'd already had like the front doorbell, and I'd had cameras in the past that I just really wasn't using that much anymore. But I finally added a few more, you know, and like it's what you were talking about, the person thing. It cracks me up sometimes because on the back deck, the grill cover will ruffle and it'll say "person detected."
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there's nothing out there.
So it's like nice to know, like for your own safety, but at the same time, I'm like, I wish like ignorance was bliss, and I didn't have that like knowledge. Sometimes, like I could just be living in my world and not answering the door when someone rings the doorbell.
Well, it's like we always talk about on here. Like a cool new technology comes out, and we're like, man, I could see some great ways to use this. This is good. This would be awesome. And immediately there's people that go, how can I use this to make money or
people
steal from
suck.
people
Yeah.
or
people
hurt
suck.
people or freak people out? Like, get a life, folks.
Get a life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, it's a little scary technology for me. I admit the AI thing is a little alarming to me too. I think the aspect of it that I think is most concerning to me is the deep fake stuff. Like
Yes.
AI, fake generated video and voice, and it's not even so much that it can be done; it's that the chaos that can be sown with it.
Yes.
The idea that like it's going to cause either because I think at some point there are going to be people who legitimately get hurt in some way because of a fake message that gets put out there in some way.
For sure.
Or also, it's also then just creates that more continued erosion in what is the truth. You know, what are facts when everyone's like, well, that's even though they can see something that is a fact and go like, well, I know that AI deep fakes exist, so now that must be a fake. Like that's the stuff where I'm just like, man, like we're running down some rabbit holes that I don't know how we're going to dig our way out of. I know Cordy was mentioning to me when we were all out for dinner the other night that there's been this discussion about video needing to be sent through the blockchain potentially at some point in order before it can get uploaded to the web.
I see.
That there be places where it'd be like,
That'd be helpful.
You can't upload a video.
Well, you'd have a trace of where it came from.
Exactly.
All that kind
So
of
you
good
have a
stuff.
trace of where it came from. It would potentially even have some stuff that could scope out, AI if any AI fakery was involved or something. Unfortunately, I feel like we're going to have something bad happen before we figure out how to put some safeguards in place.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's human nature.
You can't believe how many like Mid-Journey created freaking photos I see on Facebook that my aunt will share saying like, oh, this baby was taken by burglars in a hot air balloon. Oh, what's this world coming to? And I'm like, that's like clearly AI generated. Like I know like the prompts that they gave to like make that.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just like, especially on Facebook, like so many people get got by that. They're just oh my God, did you see this? Real?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, geez. So maybe
the last two things I'll add is two random apps that freak me out a little bit. Not scary, but I just don't understand them. Snapchat. I don't get it. I don't know what it is. You're
not snapping.
You know me. I try to keep up with trends.
Yes.
I've been okay with TikTok. I mean, again, just as the passive voyeur, I like watching it. Snapchat, for some reason, I don't get it. My wife got on there for a while and was like, oh, I'm sending these snaps around. I was just like, so basically it's just a bunch of goofy, funny face filters and random videos you send that disappear.
Yeah.
Like,
Unless you
don't-
screenshot.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, exactly. I'm
Exactly.
like, I don't understand what the appeal of this is, but whatever.
You're
I guess
too
it was, it was one of those things that just wasn't meant for me. And
Well, it's weird because like Snapchat came out in like 2012, the same time Instagram started to get big. So we were in high school about to graduate that time.
Yeah.
And it was I think it was fun back then because we're like, oh, what's this new thing? You take a funny photo and
goes
send
away.
it, and then it goes away. And then there was filters you could put on, like you could put the dog nose
Yeah,
on
right.
yourself.
my son loves the filters. He loves
right,
that
like
stuff.
it started innocent, and then I
Yeah.
feel like over the past 10 plus years, now there's so many different things. You can look at people's locations. You
Yeah.
can, it's just
Snap maps.
snap maps. Like I just feel like it's this avenue for like creepy people,
Yeah.
people who want to cheat like that. It's just a
Again,
weird.
how can I creep this up and do
Exactly.
something awful and weird with it?
Yeah, and that's what I don't know how it survived all this time, honestly. Maybe it's like rebranded itself with
I
Gen
think it
Zs
has.
and
It's
Gen
like-
Alphas. I don't know.
The last time I was on it, and I forgot my password. That's the last time I switched over my phone, so I'm not getting on it. I can't remember it, but it became like a news outlet. Like that's where you got your like pop culture
Yeah,
news.
I do remember hearing about it.
Because there would be like
rebranding.
snaps of like from like E! News or Vogue or like whatever, and they would just
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, did you hear Kylie did this?" And it was like, "Oh snap!"
Well,
heard it here
especially because it's one of those things I felt like, I guess for what it was for, made sense when it came out. But now, like, your standard messaging app includes all the same stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
I can pull up Apple iMessages and I can do face filter stuff. I can do all kinds of goofy stuff. You can even set messages to disappear after a time, too. Like I feel like this is one of those places where like just it became a little more widespread, so they had to try to pivot and rebrand.
Do other
themselves.
things
And-
with it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Weird. The last one I'll throw out, Roblox.
Oh,
You don't like
Roblox is
How is it scary?
Roblox is insane.
It is
it's not
not-
scary.
I don't know what
It's-
that is.
so
It's just it does not make sense to me.
so it is.
It's a-
Oh my god! So
Do you play Roblox?
no, I don't. But I watch a lot of streamers who play Roblox as adults to like show off and like create awareness for how unpoliced Roblox is. Because Roblox is like for kids, so they have like it's kind of just like this community of games where like people develop these games, so they're like really rudimentary or they're kind of not rudimentary, and you can have like a persona. It's very like VR kind of like vibes, like it's like Club Penguin after Club Penguin, kind of like you had like a persona and you can like go to this game and you can go hang out in this chat room
absolutely,
and you
yeah.
can go do this, but like creepy adults will be on there and they will like fetishize children, and it's very concerning because there's like no like policing and it's just very like you could get on there and some kid could be dropping F-bombs and going nuts and talking about really not okay things and then go play a game and then be like, okay, I'm gonna go like doing homework. It's just very it's like very weird, and I feel like, you know, like growing up in a generation where a lot of the things I would play online had a lot of parental restrictions. This one doesn't have any, and it's so like the Wild West.
Yeah, that's what's bugging me about it. Because like Miles kept asking about it, saying he knows his friends play it, and even my wife was like, "Hey, you probably need to get him Roblox. Sounds like it's the hot game that all the kids are playing." Because we tried Minecraft, and like him and I definitely didn't get into Minecraft, and he didn't seem all that interested in it either. So like I was finally like, all right, fine, I'll put Roblox on his tablet. Now, mind you, I'm that parent who's also very cautious about going through all of the list of whatever the restrictions are and turning stuff off and be like, nope, you're not allowed to chat with anyone. You're not allowed to hear any, no one's allowed to speak to you on here. No one's allowed to friend you. Like I was very deliberate and careful with all that. So I feel like he's not necessarily anywhere that he can't be or shouldn't be, or there's going to be people necessarily interacting with him that shouldn't be. But the game itself, because like Sam said, it's this weird Wild West of just people just creating random games, and they sometimes skin it with like whatever's popular. Like right now, he's been playing a bunch of that are an Inside Out 2 skin, so it's got Inside Out 2 characters. But what the stuff he's doing is just madness. It's just running around doing weird little tasks, just tapping like crazy on stuff. There's one he was doing the other night. He's like getting ready to get his shower. And he's like, Daddy, can you just go over there? And when my guy's done working out, just make him go over to the other place and work out. I'm like, what are you talking about? I look at this thing, and there's just his little avatar just sitting there like pumping iron. Like, and he's doing it for like an hour. And then when he's done pumping iron at one place, he just moves to another place and starts pumping iron again. I'm like, what is the utility of this? There's no...
funny.
Keep pressing the
Granted,
button.
I'm
Miles.
someone who likes video games. I like playing video games with them, but at least most of them have some kind of like a story or a goal. These things just feel so random.
Yeah.
And then there was another one he was playing one time where like this character just randomly like picks up a pistol that looks like a real gun and is just walking around shooting people with it or whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
I set this to like, a 7-year-old settings. Why is there a random pistol that you're shooting people with?
Yeah,
A lot of like
exactly, right?
simulation games, like Hospital Simulator, and then it's like it is the Wild West, and like all the users in there are just like shooting each other. It's just like what?
That's what most
This
of them
is
turn
not a
into.
hospital simulation.
Every game he gets into, like, because there was one he was doing. I think it was an Inside Out one, and I was like, oh, it's Inside Out too. Maybe it's going to teach him stuff about emotions or stuff or whatever, and have his clever stuff in there. And no, everyone's just running around beating each other up.
Yeah, it's just
And
like
every now and then joy pops up for some reason. Every now and then anger pops up. I don't get it.
I don't get it.
But like brands will like use like Roblox. Like I know like Playing Card has a Roblox like room. Like they pay for like a chat room or whatever where you can like talk Magic with your friends and like talk like, oh, I like to play this game. Oh, my favorite whatever magician is this person, and they like pay for that like area.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, and I think that's the allure for a lot of these like brands that like target to kids initially. So Inside Out has something because, everyone's watched that or whatever.
Right.
So, and I'm sure like toy companies are the same way. But yeah, it's just like very like unfiltered and very unpoliced. It's just a weird place.
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah. It's this stuff as a parent that's starting to freak me out a little
There
bit.
you
Like
go.
where I start looking and going like, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to
Maybe we'll
keep-
switch back
keep
to
all the
Mitigate
horrible things in the world for my kid, like-
Freddy the Fish and other games that are on
Temple
a
Run.
CD-ROM.
Yeah, there you go.
Not the internet.
No internet games.
I'm like, let's just go play some Mario, okay? Come on. Mario's fine. He's just stomping on some turtles and eating some mushrooms. It's all good.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing confusing about
Nothing
that.
wrong
Yeah.
with turtle abuse.
All right, let's do a quick little lightning around here. I'm just going to ask some quick questions. I want some quick responses from you guys. What's scarier, jump scares or the long, terrifying dread?
Jump scares.
Jump scares.
Jump scares.
I want to lose my urine.
I'm more of the,
Right?
the long dread. I'm a long dread guy. I
Long
like the
dread.
stuff that like just creeps me out over time.
see.
Like the jump scares don't really faze me that much anymore.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Best Halloween candy.
The caramel apple pops.
Okay.
This is unpopular opinion, but the like candy corn, but the pumpkin things.
Yeah,
those
I'm
are
good with that.
good.
I'm good with that.
I could a lot.
Reese's
no?
Pieces.
No.
Sorry.
Ooh,
I'm
Reese's
going old
Pieces.
school.
I'll do anything Reese's.
Reese's
Yeah.
Pieces or
Pieces.
Reese's Pieces?
Pieces. I'm sorry.
I say it like
Pieces.
pieces.
Yeah, it's hard not
Reese's
to.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Pieces.
I've always said that too.
Reese's Pieces, though, is how we say it. Yes.
Reese's Pieces.
Get with the program, Sam. You're showing your young age. Anyway.
Worst Halloween candy. For me, it's partly it's candy corn, but it's also those old school,
no.
the orange and black peanut butter.
Oh, I love those.
Rocks.
Those are so good.
That's all I can
wrong with
describe them.
that?
They're freaking rocks is all they were. Those things were awful.
Black licorice.
Ooh,
Okay,
good one.
okay.
This isn't really Halloween candy, but I feel like it should be like circus peanuts. Who eats those?
That's a good.
Who's giving those away at Halloween?
Now, are you someone also that hates Peeps?
Oh, Peeps. Yeah.
Because I detest
I
Peeps.
do kind of
don't like
hate
Peeps.
peeps. Yeah,
They're fine, but
tastes
No.
like
It's-
chemicals in
yeah.
my mouth.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
chemicals, sugar, and something spongy
and
inside.
a weird little chicken looking at me.
Yeah.
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 I
What
don't
do you-
know.
what do you
I
got?
guess like anytime I'd get like fruit snacks or something, I'd be like, this is healthy. Come on.
I got a better.
That's a good point.
The
doing
Child's
here?
Play candy mix that they sell that's like $4. How it comes
Yeah.
with all like the fruit
The
chews and
dots.
the dots and
Yeah.
Tootsie Rolls.
Dots are bad,
Ugh,
too.
Yeah.
No one wants that.
I will buy those bags of that just because it's something that my
Give
wife
it
and I
away.
won't touch ourselves.
Yeah.
Because
There
you
go.
buy Halloween candy and you leave it around your house long enough, inevitably you start getting into it
Right.
long
Yeah.
before Halloween, and then you
Yeah.
find yourself have to go back and get another bag.
Yes.
The
So I'll
lady-
buy the stuff that I'm just like, we hate this stuff, so I know we won't mess with it.
Yes.
Sorry, kids. I know you're going to get crap you don't like, but
Oh, and in that category that I look forward to, Smarties.
Oh, I love
I
Smarties.
love
No.
Smarties. Those are good.
You're weird, dude. You're just weird.
Those are good.
Smarties.
I like to eat them all at
Smarties,
once.
come on.
too.
Yes.
Or remember the Smarties lollipops?
Oh, yeah. And they were like,
They were like a-
different color on top and on bottom. Yeah.
Solid.
Interesting.
Solid.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you prefer to party or stay at home on Halloween?
I feel like my answer has changed.
Yeah.
Like I used to always go out, and like we have a Halloween party this year, and I'm like, I'm already kind of like looking for an excuse.
You got one right there.
I know.
It's built in.
But
You
I'm
got
the
one
DD.
growing inside
I'm
you.
the DD, so it's like perfect, you
wow.
know.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
like,
fair. Fair.
What about you?
I could go either way. Party and have fun, or stay at home and watch scary movies by myself and then be freaked out when I go to bed.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm.
I don't know. Probably stay at home more or less. Yeah.
Yeah.
Been staying at home, but looking forward to going back out at some point in life. Yeah.
I'm kind of like, because I did the party thing for a while. I mentioned that I had those friends. I would go to their yearly party every year. I got tired of that. I do enjoy taking the kiddo out trick-or-treating now. That's kind of fun. I think, maybe somewhere in the future I might get back into wanting to go out to some parties again.
Yeah.
Not like all night long,
No.
getting trashed kind of parties, but just, go hang out, fun costumes.
Absolutely.
Have some drinks.
There you go.
Yeah.
Play a game. Yeah.
There you go. What about decorations? Should they be scary or kid-friendly?
scary.
Scary.
The whole
Yes.
point.
Yes, exactly, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't climb on my roof the other day and hang a spider by the rafters for no reason.
Wait, is this a true story?
Yes.
Okay, Sam, again, you are with child.
Just going on a little rodeo. Fine.
Yeah.
Just off-roading with Sam.
Falling off roofs. Yeah,
Yeah.
no big deal.
My deductible's been hit.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think decorations should be scary if you can. All right, let's do some Halloween or some holiday rankings. What do you rank these in order you think of best to worst? Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and the 4th of July.
4th of July is in 4th place.
Yeah, 4th place for sure.
Yeah. That's fair.
I concur on that.
Thanksgiving to me would be third.
No,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving is
Or
the
second.
best.
It's the best?
Third
The food?
Yeah.
All right.
I think
I mean,
mine would
Christmas is
be
going to be number one for me, but
Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, 4th of July.
Yeah, something like that.
You got
So
Thanksgiving at the top?
Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas.
Halloween
4th of
over
July.
Christmas?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And Thanksgiving number one? I need an explanation.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
it the food?
the food.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
And
Yeah.
like traveling to in-laws, like in the course of the same day, and like eating 2 meals, and then like
True, that's
staying
fun.
the night, and then like eating a meal there, and then going back to my parents to eat another meal. Like it's just
Wow.
Constant eating.
unjudged.
You're really going to love that this year.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm nervous
right?
because I'm supposed to take my gestational diabetes test like the day before. So I'm either going to have a great time or I'm not going to.
Well, if they send you the results, just ignore them for
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Just wait to check out the results on
didn't-
Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
didn't know
bingo.
that I had diabetes, so I had to eat that whole pumpkin pie. I'm so sorry.
Exactly.
What about you?
Honestly, I kind of put Thanksgiving first too.
Oh, whoa.
And I think part of it is there's just low stakes.
Yeah.
Unless you're the person making the meal, which I've had to do that a couple times. But
yeah.
typically, I'm going somewhere else.
No. See,
Maybe I've brought something
it's a
with
heavy
me.
lift.
Christmas is so
You just hang
expensive,
out, you
like-
eat.
It's true.
But I would probably put Christmas second, and I think that's most. I think that has shot up the ranking since having a kid.
Yes.
because it takes on a little bit of a different.
For sure it
meaning.
does. Yeah.
Then Halloween, and then the 4th.
Yeah.
4th of July, I think is just boring anymore.
Meh.
Well, yeah.
All the dogs are scared.
Yeah.
I know, that's
right?
what makes me
Fireworks.
sad.
Yeah.
And the fireworks are probably depleting our ozone, so stop
Yeah.
it.
And the fish in the river are probably like, oh my God, can it stop raining whatever on us? Ashes.
Drone
Yeah.
shows. Drone shows.
Yeah. The
Exactly.
future.
I could get behind that. Yeah,
Eco-friendly drone
Yeah,
shows.
Yeah, there you go.
Fine with that.
There you go.
All right, hey, that does it for the lightning round. Anything else Halloween related you guys want to talk about before we get into our wrap up stuff?
I got one hot take, which maybe everybody already knew this, and I'm just really late to the game. But the Spirit Halloween model has just always baffled me. But then I decided to go to my friendly Google, and turns out Spirit Halloween is owned by the Spencer's brand.
Oh, that makes
I
total
found
sense.
a little info. So basically, it's a subsidiary of the Spencer's brand. And since the labor they hire is temporary, they do really short-term leases on buildings. That's how they can get away with that
Absolutely.
whole model.
Yeah.
But I finally, this was the year I'm like, you know what? I got to look this up because this
Yeah.
gets me every single year. I'm like, why did this Spirit Halloween just pop
Pop
up?
up.
And then the
Yeah.
next day
Randomly
it's gone.
building. Yep.
And there was something else I read that said basically like their inventory can be reused the next year. Like there's very
That's a
small
good point.
overhead. So like I forget the
They're
percentage it
printing
gave.
money.
Yeah, they print money when they pop these bad boys up
Sure.
around, September. I don't know when they all start popping up, probably
Yeah.
mid-September. But like easiest business model for Spencer's brand is just popping up Spirit Halloweens, short-term leases, temporary hires, sell the stuff, throw it back in a warehouse, bring it out the next year,
Yeah.
mark it up, people will buy it.
Sure.
Yep.
I don't know if it was a rumor, but I did hear that they're doing a Spirit Christmas store.
Ooh.
That's kind of a really good idea. I
would
can't
make
believe they haven't
sense.
done
Yeah.
that yet.
And they should just do Spirit Holiday or whatever. I mean, I don't know, just to keep
Yeah.
it.
Look at
Like,
you,
there you
add
go.
to their business
But then maybe
model.
they hate that, maybe they want that like short pop-up season for their
True,
stuff. So,
maybe.
They might
but-
make things more complicated if you're adding
Yeah.
extra holidays in.
Yeah.
So your homework is to look up fireworks shops. They do the same thing.
Spirit
in
fireworks, Spirit
Phantom
4th of
fireworks.
July.
Phantom
And,
fireworks just pop
Oh,
up around
true.
4th of July. It's like, boom.
Well, we have now Florence has like a year-round one. There's the
Who
old circuit,
needs
the old
fireworks in
I know
December?
the old. You'd be surprised how often I get random
surprised.
fireworks.
True.
go off.
You'd be
The
surprised.
old
This is
Circuit
America.
City in Florence
is now a
is
phantom.
a year-long
like a big
Phantom
warehouse
fireworks, yeah.
phantom. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
It's
Yeah.
not huge. It's actually not that big, honest. I mean, it was a Circuit City.
Yeah, but yeah, roadside.
It
They
is
just
pretty
start
big.
popping up
Yeah.
everywhere.
Over there off of Mall Road.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not one of the biggest, but like it's pretty.
I mean, I remember when it was Circuit City and like going in there and just
Circuit
like
City.
the smell.
Wasn't the media
The
play
CDs.
by that as
Oh,
well?
media play.
And an
That was
H.H. Gregg?
Yeah.
That was over on Turfway. Because I used to be at Media Play every week. I would be there at midnight every Thursday
Just
night
listen
to
to
get the
you
new
folks.
releases.
Just listen to yourself.
Well, and you'd have to get the CD and that big
Yes.
plastic
Yeah.
sleeving
Yes.
thing that
Yeah.
you'd carry around. I'd have like 5 on my arm, and my mom's like, put it back,
Yeah.
put it back. You can get that, put
the
that back.
carpet, the carpet inside was all different colors.
Such
They
a good
knew me at
time.
Media Play, so when I would show up there, like they would let me and my buddies in, and they wouldn't even have the CDs in the cases yet. They just bring them out on like their shelving carts, and we just get to go pick through and pick the ones we want.
Oh,
to go
that's
and
cool.
buy.
What a fun time to be alive.
That's
Yeah,
like
no doubt.
hardcore.
Stop
Wow.
taking over old Radio Shack Spirit Halloween. You're ruining our dreams.
You're ruining these
You
abandoned
know,
buildings.
I have one more quick little topic for us. Does anybody quite get or find appealing the whole sexy Halloween thing? Like the idea of taking a random serial killer from a movie or a
Yeah.
random
Right.
pop culture figure and turning it into a sexy costume instead?
I think you're talking to two girls here who always either dress as
you
guys
guys are
or
not the-
dress.
Yeah.
Say, you guys
Yeah.
are not the target audience.
I've
Yeah, clearly.
never done sexy Halloween. I like to go for funny stupid.
Yeah, same.
Before.
I was never invited
Yeah.
to those parties, John.
Well, I wasn't either,
well,
honestly.
well, clearly you were.
I'm a nerd. Come on.
It is a dumb concept though. I'll agree because it's always like more expensive and it's less clothing. So you're like,
cold.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
gonna
It's
snow. I
It's
know
so weird
it.
too
Cold.
because it's clearly obviously clearly just about the women. And, it's clearly about hey, how can we just get more
Yeah.
hot girls at our parties dressing less?
How can
in
we
less clothing.
objectify these women even more?
Even more.
Yeah, you're never gonna. There's no dudes that are wearing a sexy Halloween. If anything, you're just putting on like a
Right.
muscle shirt or something and pretending you're something you're not.
Those
so-
T-shirts were all the rage for
That's
a
true.
while.
They were.
Look at
I
my
just-
muscles.
I,
It's a T-shirt.
I don't know
dude.
if that's as much of a trend anymore, but still, if you go to a Spirit Halloween, you inevitably there'll be
yeah.
a section you find of
It's like
Yeah.
sexy
The
priest. What?
yeah, the weird adult themed, or like again, like something from a horror film, like the most disgusting horror creature you can find, but sexy. Like no,
No.
Sexy Vecna.
Yep. Stranger
Freddy
Things.
Krueger. I've seen him do the Freddy
Sexy
Krueger
Krueger.
before. Like sure, my face is all grotesque and I got these claws on my hands, but
I'm
wearing-
hot.
But I'm wearing a plaid mini skirt.
Like, how would you
know,
do like sexy Ghostface? You
Oh, I've
can't
seen
do
that, too. I've seen it,
they
too.
have. Okay,
Yep.
just kidding.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
It's
Yeah.
It's
out
a
there.
thing.
Yeah.
It's more fun to dress and
I like-
humiliate yourself.
yeah.
You only have one year.
It's more fun to be
Exactly.
funny than going out and being
and get
freezing
groped
cold.
all night. I mean,
Yeah, because that's
True.
no fun. Geesh.
I feel like that had to have been
Exactly.
something that dudes invented.
Oh, of course. I bet.
It
I
had to.
bet.
Sure.
All right. That wraps it up. That then. All right. Well, hey, before we wrap things up here with what I'm going to say is a very half-assed attempt at a value to the VAR that we may not even skip entirely.
Why are we even going there?
Exactly.
There's no value.
Thanks so much for watching our show. Thanks for supporting us all the time out there, folks. We appreciate it. Hey, if you were sponsoring the show and you're like, why am I getting a Halloween episode? Look, we do like some goofy things like twice a year. Just,
roll
we
with
gotta,
it.
We got to have
It
fun.
falls on a Thursday. This
Exactly.
year.
This episode actually
Yes.
came out on Halloween, so I'm like, I got to do something for this, and I think you guys probably enjoyed it anyway.
Yeah.
But hey, if you've got ideas for the show, you need to send those ideas into us. If you got a theme for next year, like, hey, you guys should do an Easter themed episode. I have no idea what that would look
We're
like.
not doing that.
Technology that's been resurrected.
4th of
I don't know.
July themed.
We're blowing up this place.
4th of July, yeah.
Fireworks
theme.
in the studio.
In which we find the technology we hate and blow it up out in the parking lot.
Yes, I love this idea. That's my childhood right
We
there.
have to be very careful
go.
about that, though. We find out it's something connected to one of our partners. Like, hey, we have a very close relationship with that technology.
Oops.
We're pulling our sponsorship from
It
BlueStar.
blows up nicely.
There you go.
Yeah.
But if you got ideas for the show, there's always a link in the show notes. You can always find us on all the social medias. You can send us an email. We'll send you a podcast t-shirt just for submitting an idea to us. I don't care what it is at this point. I've got these t-shirts to get rid of. Send me something. Come on. And as always, if you want to find us, check out BlueStar's LinkedIn page, Facebook, all the places we are, or email us, TEConnect@BlueStarInc.com. All right, let's wrap things up here. Yeah, I'm going to skip value to the VAR. No offense, but your value is you had a fun episode.
There
to
you
listen
go,
to,
right?
you
Yes.
know?
True.
Yes.
Maybe you got it piping in your ears while you're taking the kids out trick or treating or something, you know, and
Yes.
just having some fun listening to it. So
Right.
we'll skip that and we'll move straight into what's tech connecting with you, which of course is where we get to talk about anything in tech, science, business, innovation.
It doesn't have to be scary.
Again, just us riffing on our aim. It doesn't have to be. If you got a way to make it scary, sure.
Yeah, right.
Sam, Sarah, which one of you wants to kick this off with your tech connecting?
I guess my Spirit Halloween take was maybe what's TEConnecting.
Okay, there you go. All right.
I didn't have anything else prepared. That was the only one
You were
thing.
spending way too much time figuring out how this whole costume and attempting to scare Dean.
Yes.
True. I was busy with
which
that.
unfortunately I think you spent way too much time on for something that didn't pan out the way
Dang
you
it.
expected.
Oh.
We need to Marco needs to do the soundboard thing where we can just insert random sounds in the
Yes.
episode, and there's just should be every now and then when Dean's just uninterested in something, we just go, oh.
A meme of Dean
A
saying,
meme.
"Oh,
Yes. Oh. There it is.
Sam, what's tech connecting
I
with
think
you?
just expanding on what I was saying earlier about how AI is scaring me, and from a misinformation standpoint, just trying to educate my in-laws and my parents and my elder aunts and things like that, to just because you see it on Facebook doesn't mean it's true. So just educating them with digital literacy and fact checking things.
Digital literacy.
and-
I like that.
Yes.
yeah, especially just because
It's tough.
It's tough.
It
and,
is.
just because someone wrote that doesn't mean it exists. It's real, and I feel
Right.
like a lot of us learned that early on in life because me and Sarah have been on the internet for ever. But yeah, just it's a process, but we'll get there. We'll get there. My mother-in-law is hilarious. She we were on vacation and she came downstairs and said, Simone Biles is pregnant with twins. And I was like, Terry, she's doing flips off the balance beam. I think maybe she's not.
It's typically not
I
advised.
don't know if she
You
is.
can climb on your roof and put a spider up, but not doing gymnastics.
Yes, I don't know about that. And then, of course, it wasn't true or anything. And then so she had to go back to the place she found it to be this isn't true. And I was like, well, I'm glad that you're
Right?
letting other people know.
Wow.
So just trying to educate where I
You
can.
that's a lot of headwinds you face. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah.
Good luck with that. Yeah.
Sam out here trying
man.
to debunk the internet.
Yeah.
Just trying to not
Talk
spread
about
misinformation.
An endless uphill battle.
No doubt.
Literally endless. Yeah.
As I refer to it in one of our Vartech meetups, Sisyphean.
Sisyphean.
Yeah. Go look it up, folks.
All right. Sisyphean.
How do you spell that?
I had to explain it in the room too. I threw it out there in the room, and everyone looked at me, and one person was like, "I know it, I get it." Cordy's looking at me like I'm an idiot.
Denoting or relating to a task that can never be completed. Oh,
It's from the Greek tragedy of Sisyphus, punished by the gods to push a boulder uphill all the time.
Yes.
So if a task is Sisyphean,
So
it
it's
means it's
pointless.
There you go. There's
so
your
Sisyphean.
there's your $50 word for that.
Golly, I'm
I'm going to
educated.
say that in a sentence.
You're welcome,
later.
folks.
What's the what?
Sisyphean,
Sisyphean.
Sisyphean.
not
Okay.
Sisyphus.
I almost.
Not
Well, it
Reese's
is
Pieces.
Sisyphus, not syphilis.
Not-
I was
Reese's
about
Pieces.
to say syphilis.
Two very different things.
Not syphilis.
Because first I heard if you heard the tragedy of Sisyphus, I was like,
John,
well, I don't know.
this is a PG podcast.
this
right?
Did this happen to that Halloween party the other day? No, that's not that.
No.
The sexy party you were at? Yes.
Sexy Sisyphean.
Sexy
Tongue
Sisyphus.
twister in here.
There you go. There's your costume, sexy Sisyphus. You just
Sexy
roll
Sisyphus.
you roll a boulder up a hill in sexy
Yeah.
outfit all night long.
Man. Wow.
Anyway,
wow,
yeah,
wow.
we might have to this might be the rare episode we actually have to put like a disclaimer on. I don't know. I mean,
Explicit warning.
if you typically let your kids listen to the TEConnect podcast, I
right.
question your parenting skills for one thing.
Right, there you
They've
go.
probably got better things they could be doing. All right, Dean, what's TEConnecting with you?
I can eat sugar now. That's my bold claim. A stem cell treatment has reversed a 25-year-old woman's type 1 diabetes, a study found yesterday. So we're conquering diabetes, I guess. So if you go to Beijing, they have the Beijing Peking University that extracted patient cells and reverted their, pluripotent state.
Pluripotent.
Thank you. State. And then they developed these cells into insulin-producing isolate cells responsible for turning the glucose into energy, a process that attacked the body, right, when you have type 1 diabetes. Anyway, they've got this process now through the stem cell treatment that reverses that. So we might be at a place where, wouldn't that be nice? Diabetes is like something that you don't even talk about anymore.
Yeah, do cancer next.
Right? Yeah, like why can't we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can we do all this stuff faster?
With AI, you would
I
think
ain't
we would
getting
be
any
able to get
younger.
this. Yeah, right. All these things are starting to percolate up and things of that nature. So anyway, we can eat sugar now, or at least soon.
I mean, I hate to tell you, but I've been doing it all along.
all right.
Stop.
Fair enough.
Probably,
Well, I thought,
probably not for the best, but
Halloween sugar,
that's a
we're
good
eating
point.
a lot
Just,
of sugar.
there you look. You tied it into the theme.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nice
It's
work.
contextual.
Look at that.
Yeah, so go eat your sugar. Go
Nice
eat your,
work.
your candy. What's TEConnecting?
All right,
on
I'll
you?
keep it on brand here too. I wanted to give some spooky streaming recs for television. And actually, one of them was going to be Mike Flanagan stuff, which I will, again, reemphasize. If you like scary stuff, but not necessarily super scary. Like, I feel like The Haunting of Hill House is the only one that had, like, legit jump scares.
Yes.
The others are just more kind of scary.
Midnight Club had a
themed.
lot of jump scares. I think I saw the
That's
first
true.
episode had the record amount of jumps. It was like 78 jump scares or something like
Midnight
that.
Club, nothing about that show scared me. I will say that's the one flop probably in the bunch. And in part, it doesn't help either. They got canceled. Like, it was supposed to have a second season.
Yeah.
All these others are one season things.
Yeah.
That
They're
was
like
supposed to
an
have a second
anthology.
season and got canceled, right? But yes, any of the Mike Flanagan stuff on Netflix, cannot recommend it enough. I think honestly, I think especially if you're someone that doesn't like to be super scared, probably start with Fall the House of Usher.
No, not at all. That's
You think that was scary?
Yeah. At the very end, all those things that were happening.
I guess
The guy that was
No,
Yeah,
what?
All right, fine. Well, if you've read Edgar Allan Poe, you should definitely check that out. Great.
I think
great
Midnight
use
Mass
case
is
of those.
Midnight Mass is not. It's more psychological
True,
and it's not as
true.
jump scary.
That's probably the one from just a pure thematic space. I think that is the most interesting.
Yeah.
The other show that I will recommend, and I think I recommended this to you a couple weeks back, is Evil on Paramount Plus.
Oh, yeah.
This show originally started on CBS and then moved over to Paramount, which was good for it because they could be a little more looser, and didn't have to constrict themselves to a network program. It's a show that is at times very unsettling and creepy and terrifying, but also wildly funny sometimes.
Oh, wow.
Which I think good
that.
horror
The
can
funny
do
horror,
a little of both,
Well, you got the tension, right? So you need a
Right.
Yeah.
The premise of the show itself is almost like a jokey, the start of a joke, which is basically a wannabe priest, a lawyer, and a technologist.
Walk into a bar.
Walk into a bar, exactly. Are basically hired by the Catholic Church to go investigate paranormal or, extra demonic activity type stuff.
Got it.
Of course, including stuff like exorcisms and demonic possessions and all that stuff. That's an undercurrent throughout the show. But just also a lot of other random stuff that occasionally has sometimes there's technology elements to it, people using technology, again, kind of Black Mirror-esque, of how tech can be used in evil ways. There's also, but there is very much an undercurrent and a storyline of what the demons of hell are actually up to. That again,
Is it kind of like Supernatural?
Not quite, no.
Okay.
No, but it borderlines on funny sometimes with that stuff. So the ick factor and the creep factor is not always there.
Not so bad.
You find yourself laughing a lot. But I absolutely love the show. The fourth and final season came out recently. I haven't yet finished. I've got a few more episodes to go. Just a wonderful, fun kind of goofy show. Evil. It's from the folks. If anyone watched The Good Fight, which was a spinoff from The Good Wife. Same people that made that show directed this. Even the opening credits for the show, which has cool ominous music, but they even put subtle little things in there when you're watching. Where now when you're streaming a show and it opens up, and there's that skip button will pop up.
Yeah.
To let you skip the opening credits. Theirs, before that appears, there's a button that pops up that looks very similar that says, skip this, and a demon will visit you in your nightmares.
Oh,
That's funny.
Oh.
I'm like, that's clever. It
That's
makes me
nice.
watch the credits.
Yeah.
just
I probably
because
wouldn't
of how
skip it
clever is.
then.
Because I get it. Like, people are like, watch the credits. All these hard people worked hard on the show. They deserve to have their names seen. So it's stuff like that where, again, scary, but also leaning into a lot of the humor that can come along with the scariness of things. So
I like it.
Nice.
highly recommend it. Great show on Paramount Plus. Check it out while you can. All right, that does it. Any last thoughts on spooky season?
No.
Don't watch Salem's Lot. It wasn't
The
good.
new one,
Oh.
the new HBO Max one.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, I mean, it's already been done twice.
Yeah.
Both times pretty good. Why
Yeah.
would you do it?
Why
again?
break it?
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't good.
All right, that does it for us. If you're listening on Halloween, send us, send us some pictures. Tell us where you're trick or treating. What kind of candy did you get? The TEConnect podcast is brought to you by ELO. Listen up, ghouls and goblins. The EloPay M100 offers the ultimate rugged enterprise-grade mobile point-of-sale tablet in a slim ergonomic form factor. Boasting a 10.1-inch FHD scratch-resistant touch display, integrated payment with PCI PTS 6.0 pin-on glass, flexible Android 10 OS, and Qualcomm SD660 processor. The M100 Pay combines powerful performance with the security, unified architecture, and long lifecycle businesses need. It's a scary device, isn't it, Dean? Yeah. All right, I think I'm done doing that. That's a little too much, man. Elo, I hope you appreciate that. But hey, let's continue on. The M100 accepts payments from anywhere, includes integrated cameras, has enough battery life to cover a shift. I mean, you don't want to be like, your battery runs out and you're left alone in the dark.
Right?
It gets scary, you know?
Very.
And can go
Quickly.
from mobile to fixed with a rotating POS dock to swivel from merchant to customer facings. When you spin it around, there's like a scary image on there to spook them.
Yeah. No, it's not scary. It's not scary.
Yeah. I'm just trying to spice this up a
I
little.
hear you.
Keeping with the theme. All right, want to learn more and see additional specs, or maybe it's a landing page that has that scary thing that pops up. You never know until you click the link. Check it out in the show notes or contact the BlueStar ELO team. Woo!